Buenas noches, San Antonio. This is your home for Tejano music, Que Alamo Television, and we are sending saludos to all the incredible Tejano performers out there. From the veterans who laid the foundation to the rising stars, keeping the beat alive, you are the heart and soul of La Onda Tejano. And to the fans, the ones who fill the dance floors and crank up the radios, you are the reason we keep the music going.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nevil Shed, a.k.a. The Shadow. Would you believe in all my, how can I say, 83 years on this earth, my dream is finally coming true. I'm putting myself in an arena where I will be able to utilize Nevil Shed's legacy. And this is something that I always want to involve, not just the growing of myself, but to share that with others. Share that with others as I travel my journey on my road to glory. So what is it all about now? It's called Nevil Shed's Foundation Supports Youth. Support for youth, mentorship. And shall I say also with the mentorship comes leadership, which is two of the most important things that we have to have for the success of anybody who's trying to take their life to another level with a positive attitude. So be with me as I travel my journey with you. Dreams do come true, and the process is so very, very simple. One must walk by faith and have a strong background of within yourself saying that it is never going to be goodbye, but like I always say, to be continued. I would like to invite you to watch Que Alamo's Tejano music and chistes.
6 decades ago, we made history, inviting you to the 60th anniversary celebration of our historic 1966 Texas Western NCAA National Championship. Together with the Lone Star Nonprofit Development Collaborative, we are preserving this living legacy by empowering our youth through mentorship, leadership, and education. Please join me on Friday, September 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at 1620 Penn Road in San Antonio, Texas. Sponsor a table, bid in our silent auction, or get your tickets today.
Hi, my name is Brenda Blanco, singer-songwriter, and I want to invite you to go listen to my latest release, Cuando Estoy Junto a Ti. This song was created in the Rio Grande Valley. It's a Colombian song cover. It's got some sound of the Rio Grande Valley 956, and I want you to go enjoy it. It's a very danceable song, so enjoy it with your favorite person. Follow me on all platforms, digital platforms, and social media at Brenda Blanco Oficial. I would like to invite you to watch Que Alamo's Tejano Music News and Chistes.
Pero solo de ganar esta noche contigo y que nos aparte en la mañana. En la cama, en la calle, en la playa, no me importa nada. En la cama, en la calle, en la playa, no me importa nada. ¡Qué rico! Brenda Blanco. A mí me gusta que me hables, pero con todos los detalles, y que me digas cositas ricas antes de besarme, porque me encanta que tú juegues con mi mente y yo me olvido del pasado y el presente. El futuro es incierto y este amor es muy cierto, tan real es lo nuestro. Tú y yo queremos esto. No te vayas lejos, nunca te lo pido. Ven y quédate esta noche aquí conmigo. Cuando estoy junto a ti, corazón, se me rompe la calma. Solo quiero tu piel y me muero por saborearla. Tú me matas, me hieres, me quemas, pero solo de ganar esta noche contigo y que nos aparte en la mañana. En la cama, en la calle, en la playa, no me importa nada. En la cama, en la calle, en la playa, no me importa nada. En la cama, en la calle, en la playa, no me importa nada.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever part of the world you're in. My name is John Boyd from KLMO Television, and we have Nevil Shed here. How you doing?
Doing well today, very much.
Good to have you here.
Hey, I tell you this, this is just once again another part of my journey. Things that I'm always motivating myself to give back to others, what I have been blessed with such a long time ago. Yes, there were ups and downs. That was told to me. Your dream will come true, but prepare yourself for the ups and downs. I'll say that twice, ups and downs. And what I was satisfied with, which can I say, people who are wanting to be successful are never satisfied in what their journey has for them. Coming from the great city of New York City, South Bronx, I was fortunate enough to have a grandmother, mother, and father who were there with me through a long part of my journey. I had a grandmother who was the main person. Her name was Sally Jones, a.k.a. Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you something about Big Mama.
Yeah.
She was a lady who wore this long black gown with this embroidery collar, and she had this stick that for a long time I swore to God that was part of Moses' staff. But she was my main foundation of being able to talk and let myself go, as to saying, Big Mama, when I grow up, I want to be. And basketball was a great thing back then. I was sheltered for such a long time in an apartment house in Bronx, New York, where I was not able to go out with other kids because of the gangs and the drugs and a lot of the things that we go through today. But I was able, from that fourth grade, and I'm gonna say fourth grade because it looked like a big school, the apartment house that I lived in, fourth floor apartment, looking out the window at other kids because she was, just covering me so much, and I got fat, and I mean really fat. I think I was the one who started that movie with, Fat Albert. Fat Albert.
I do a Fat Albert. Hey, it's Fat Albert.
That's just what I'm talking about. I tell you. But
before you finish that story, please tell me, you were a professional basketball player, right?
Yes, for a little while.
Who did you play for?
I played for the Boston Celtics.
Wow.
For the Boston Celtics, with some of even though the great athletes that we know of today, but I'm talking about the great Bill Russell and the John Havlicek and so many other guys. I grew up in an era from junior high school up to college, et cetera, that I knew the Wilt Chamberlains. I knew the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar before he was named that. It was Lou Alcindor. I grew up with a guy named Nate Archibald. I was in that arena. One of the guys that had that dream and continued to work on maybe someday I'll get there. Remember what my grandmother told me about, yes, you'll get to that point, but you got to prepare yourself for sometimes there will be negative energies that through your dreams and your, how can I say, with my intestinal fortitude of turning negative energies into positive actions.
That's a good thing.
And, it began, that little, once again, fat boy that I tell you, every day going to school was something hard for me. I had to prepare myself for that mile from my house to my school, elementary, where before I got to the school, I saw gangs, and they're always picking on this little fat kid. So I had to find a way of getting to the school without seeing them. Once I got there, I was always being picked on. But I tried to put myself somewhere where they would not see me. But when it was time to come home, I had to walk out of that school. And once they let me out of the fence, I was gone. That was Fat Albert right there. There was a shoe shop, a barber shop, and a stationery store. And everybody knew the proper time when school was out because there was Nevil Shed running past it right on time, 3:15. But when I got close to my house, I had to slow down because my mother and father said, hey, I don't want to see you running from nobody. You stand up and you look them right in the eye. You know, looking a person in the eye and showing that courage by keeping your head up kind of slows down some negative actions that an individual must have. That was one part of it. But, you know,
So how did you lose the weight?
well, hey, let me tell you something. It got to a point being transferred from one school to another in New York. My mother sent me to Connecticut, Greenwich, Connecticut, out in the wide open spaces. And there was a boys' club there. That was something that I didn't have back in the Bronx. And it had a swimming pool, a big field. There was football and track and things that was more, you know, entertaining to me than just looking out of my fourth floor window. And after that, I started losing that weight. I started losing the weight. There was no more running. But then another part of my life that I wasn't prepared for, and that was the educational part. The educational part. I have a hard time sometimes thinking about it that, I had a hard time reading. I had a hard time with math and other things that you had to have to be successful later on down the road. And I remember, and I'm going to say this now because of how, as I traveled my road to glory, is something behind me that sometimes people say you better prepare yourself successfully so you won't have to look back. And I say, nah, I don't ever want to look back. I'm going to always be looking forward because that's where the road to glory is all about. So, after I left there, I lost a lot of this weight and I went back to New York. And that wasn't no longer Fat Albert. It was Stretch. That's the new name that I got, Stretch.
You grew a few inches.
I grew a few inches.
How tall are you?
I'm now 6'8".
6'8", wow.
6'8". This is considered a small guy, consider all the 7-footers and what have you have today.
It's not that much taller.
What happened was that I had the leverage. My family said that I can't keep him in the house so much now. So I
and you were older.
I was a lot older then. I was out of elementary school, going to junior high school. Now, here's the thing that I really am thankful for. When I left Connecticut to come back to New York, 2 grades behind, the school said that, hey, we can't leave this young man back. So they put me in the proper grade and started giving me tutors.
That's good.
But I was so angry and afraid. But I had this dream of what I wanted to do, and I know that in order for me to get that, I had to take that fright, that afraid part of me, and start listening more. Listen with your eyes and your ears, keep your mouth shut, and try to fortify on what your dream is all about.
I want to segue there to what you're doing now. So that was a great inspirational story about your childhood, about bullying, because anti-bullying is a big thing now, and it really affects our children. So we're doing everything we can to keep kids from being bullied. Yeah. And you are elemental in that. Tell us about the programs you have where you're going to be mentoring.
Okay. There's so many programs now of saying how we're going to help kids to be successful. And I tell you what, and I give the blessing and the kudos to all the other people that are doing that. But yet, society with the negative energy is so much. And I'm looking at utilizing my dreams or the things that I went through and see where I am now. Maybe at an old age, well, I take that back, at a young old age of 83, and utilize the things that I had, and it was the leadership and the mentorship, and there's always somebody, there to move me on, to help me receive that great part of what they call my teammate and I legacies. I think so many other people that were out there suffering a long time ago and made it, they are the legends. There are so many of them out there now for me that, so many times in my life, my mother, let's take a step back, at lunchtime, the famous lunches that she had, that bologna and cheese, that welfare bologna and cheese, she always made an extra sandwich for me that I would cut it in half and give it to somebody else who could not give that. And they used to look for me. And it made me feel good that, even that I had a one sandwich, I knew how to cut it in half, and I was taking care of two people, and would you believe?
So your heart has been like this,
It's
giving
like that, giving
all
back,
your life.
all giving back. Let's move up a little more. That I walked up and I found out that if you want that dream for it to come true, and something that you believe in, God's going to put somebody in your arena that's going to help you succeed in what you want to do. Now, me playing basketball one time out in the park by myself because the guys wouldn't let me play with them. I had a basketball, in a park. And saw this man walking past me. He said, Nevil Shed, what are you trying to do? I said, I want to be a basketball player. He walked away from me. And I said, what's wrong with that? He said, basketball players come a dime a dozen, but a complete basketball player is what you want to be. And that's going to be the mentorship that I'm going to try to give you. You're going to have to work into what you want through me properly mentoring you, but not just that. You better think about getting a good education. What if you get hurt? After being successful, you better have something to fall back on.
Yes.
Now, I'm talking about saying fall back, that I've used a lot of times in speaking to others, but I said, stop. I don't want to fall back on all the negative energies. If something have to happen to me in the part that, was slowing me down of completing what I talk about, Nevil Shed's road to glory, I want to fall forward. I want to fall forward. So I continued to work, and I was buying in to what this man was talking to me and not knowing who this man was. Running along a little more when I got out of middle school, and I started playing for this high school. And they looked at me because I was a tall, skinny guy, but I was able to run. I was able to jump. I started playing great defense. Couldn't shoot a ball in the ocean, but I was able to be a good defensive player. And that name, the Shadow, came out later on because they said that, I was a shadow because I played so close to my opponent that they thought I was their shadow.
Yeah.
It kind of, I like better than some of the names that I was being called throughout my lifetime. So as I was growing, I still continued to help others. Let me tell you something. When I said basketball is at the top, but I had to switch that and say books and basketball. And they kept on saying, hey, Nevil, the environment, you want to get out of this environment? And I said, yes, but it's going to be hard because I still want to be around my mother and my father because I used to watch what they were going through. And they were always saying to me, we got a problem now, but everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. And even now, what I'm being blessed with, and the people that I've helped in my life, I'm able to talk to them through the mentorship. I'm able to talk to them about education. I'm able to talk to them about, hey, after all this basketball and stuff that you're talking about, hey, there's college. There's college. There might be some other thing that you want to do that's going to be made just for you if you believe in it, and saying that, hey, I'm going to keep looking forward. But yet, even as I'm struggling through the negative energies trying to turn me into positive action, I want to be in an environment where somebody's going to help me by saying one magic word: help me to be succeed or be successful in what I want.
Tell us about the kids that you're helping right now. You have a basketball.
I tell you what, it's crazy. Yes, I work for the San Antonio Spurs, which has been for 40 some odd years. But before that, my wife used to get mad at me when I'd come home from work. I've taught, coaching here in San Antonio and many other colleges before I got here. And it was always a kid out on the street or a couple of kids playing in the park. And I always had a garage full of basketballs. I'd go out and play with them, and I'm showing them all these things, I'm saying, how's your grades? And they'd say those magic words like I said, I. And we still use that phrase today, But what it did that, I watched them grow and grow and grow. And with this program that I'm trying, when I talk about leadership, when I talk about, putting yourself in an environment where you can be better than what you're standing in right now. There's so many people like that, but I'm talking about my dream that I'm going to share with someone else. I want to talk about the tears that I went through. The tears are now, energy of joy. The kids that I see. Now, I'm not going to go way back, as I travel my journey. That's for the next time. That's to be continued. But right now, I'm going to talk about, here in San Antonio, working for the Spurs. I started off as just one of the coaches, and through the energy, I guess, and just how funny I was, nobody not talking about winning a national championship. That's the part when I grow up. For me, is giving back. For me, is that, I'm going to be able to talk to them before and tell them how and what's out there for you if you just continue to strive on what you feel that you want to be. Okay, when saying that, looking now, I can walk, I walk the streets in San Antonio, in the supermarkets, and at the Spurs game, and somebody always say, did you ever play basketball? And I said, yes. For who? And I'd say, Texas Western College, and they said, where's that? I said, well, it's the University of Texas, San Antonio. I mean, yup, stop that. The University of Texas at El Paso. And he said, oh, was you on that basketball team that changed the era of basketball, allowing minorities to attend schools of their choice through education, foundation, and being able to achieve their goals? I said, yes, that's the one. And people would stop sometime and turn around, and I always had to stop them by saying, stop. I am not George Gervin, even though he is my champion, but I'm a little bit ahead of him. The only thing we have together is that we got the same birth date. But now here's what's about that. Kids throughout my journey who I've worked with, who have seen me, who never even played basketball, who are doctors, lawyers, engineers, at a younger age, before they got to that level, they'd run up and just hug me. And I try to kind of push them back and say, well, you can't do that today. And the mother or father say, hey, Nevil, don't you push my child away, because it's your fault that they're like this. They didn't forget who you were. They never asked you about your basketball. They never asked you about how tall you are. Most of the time, no. But they would say that, how can I be like you? And I had to slow down, because there was once upon a time negative energies in my life that I had to overcome to be at this thing where they can call me a legacy or a legend. And I began to tell them little stories. But hey, let me talk about, I'm going to forget your name, so I'm just going to call you Small Change for now. And they come up to me right over and over again. Now, this program, this foundation that I want to get, I want to, people are calling me and people wanting to be involved with that I don't remember. I remember a lot of them are kids that I taught. A lot of these kids that are teaching kids today that I taught. I had a class at the University of Texas at San Antonio that they were in my class, and now they're good basketball coaches, other mentors. And I saw them just a couple of days ago. They said, Nevil, I'm going to be at your foundation. I said, man, what are you doing now? I got a championship team. I'm bringing my kids. Oh, by the way, do you know, I want to show you some pictures of what? They come back with pictures of kids of times when they were playing. And I said, now I got my kid in your camp. And they welcomed to me and said,
Second generation. Wow,
generations.
Two generations of children.
And they looked at me and said, I want to be this and I want to be that. I said, oh, boy, how's your education? Oh, you listen to your parents? All right. Or you ever thought about helping somebody else as you trying to achieve your goals? And they never have an answer for that. Why don't they have the answer for that? Because people start putting the education, all these type of things, which is necessary, but they don't look at what's with them.
Well, let me add something to that. So
I'll back up
you
on
teach
that.
them a little bit about basketball and a lot about life.
And a lot about life.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. Tell us one more time.
Let me stop and say one little quick story
Okay.
that really I had to fall back on, to fall forward. My mother used to take me on the trains in New York. We used to call them coolies, and she'd take me to the zoo and downtown and everything. And I was on the train one time going to Brooklyn to Coney Island. And there was a family sitting right in front of me. And this lady had a baby in her arms and two kids sitting right next to her. They were running around and she was trying to hold them and keep them close to them. And my mother said, "Look at the mama." And I said, "Mama, I don't like what I see. Look at her face. Look at the tears that are coming down." I said, "Ma," "You know what? Those babies are suffering because there's nobody there to mentor them. And she's trying to do it on her own the best she can. When I grow up, Mama, I don't want to be like that. I don't like that, Mama." But yet there were things in my life, the negative part, that I had to say, I'm not going to allow that to be on my journey, or shall I say now, my road to glory. Now, that's where I'm at this point now. Hey, I'm 83 years old. People say, you're kind of old to be doing these things here.
You have all the energy of a 20-year-old.
That's what I say.
Crazy.
I say, hey,
great energy.
But they come to me. These individuals that's already called my wife and my son, say, "Hey, I'll be there. I'll be there." My dentist is somebody I mentor. My lawyer, one of my lawyers, is somebody I mentor. My mechanic. Some people who got big time jobs, they said, "I'll be there for you." One time, I had to have an operation which took away a lot of my mobility. All right. And I had the insurance, but I had to get that money ahead of time. So I said, forget about it, I can't do it. So a lady by the name of my wife went and spoke to some of the kids that are so close to me. And they had me over the house. And they said, "Hey, Shed, I hear that you have to get this operation." I said, "Nah, not now." They said, "Why not?" And they said, "Hey, we don't want to hear any more of that. We're going to help you to get that operation on the right time. You ain't got to worry about that." I said, "I don't want you to do that for me." He said, "Hey, nothing you can say about that. These are my little kid. Here's a picture of my kid now. Oh, by the way, this will be coming to your camp in the next 4 or 3 months." They put it on. What do you call that? That thing on the phone. GoFundMe. And I had to come up with $6,000. In less than a week, I had that money.
Because you helped so many people.
And they were not basketball players. So that's what it's all about, because basketball players come a dime a dozen, but somewhere you're going to have to get off that track and start looking at other things.
What, the operation was successful?
The operation was successful.
That's wonderful. Let me see your paper, please.
All right.
So let me tell the people what we're here for. We are here
Give me a napkin, because I'm about to start crying here, because I'm so grateful about what we're about
Nevil
to achieve.
Is so humble. He hasn't been able to say that he's got a legacy foundation that he's starting. And it's all about mentorship for the kids. What we've been talking about. Leadership, which we've also been talking about. And it's all about a wonderful organization. I want you to tune in to this place. It's going to be at the college at the, what is it? College and Workforce Readiness. Where do we say it was going to be? Oh, okay. It's going to be on Friday, September 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at 1620 Penn Road, San Antonio, Texas. So put it on your calendar. My name is John Boyd, and this has been Nevil. Such a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure. And like we're saying, that this will never be a goodbye, but to be continued. For if we all have the blessings and opportunity to take each day one at a time, we're going to always make that day just a little better than the day before.
My name is John Boyd with KLMO Television. Thank you for watching.
Football is great.
And basketball is greater.
Interference.
Pasha and baklava, always a winning combination.
To be continued.
Baklava Bakery to end any game day on a sweeter note.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is John Boyd with KLMO Television, and we're here with Brenda Blanco. How are you doing, Brenda?
Hi, John. Very nice to see you. I am doing well, and how about yourself?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Well, you look nice today.
Thank you, thank you.
I understand you were at a show last night.
I was at the National Latina Day. It's a very beautiful event that we performed at last night. So we had a really good show, and it was really nice.
What did you sing?
I sang my very first song that I released, which is Tu Enemigo Eres Tú. And then I sang my collaboration with Los Arcos Hermanos Peña, which is Las Cuentas Claras.
I love Hermanos Peña. Shout out to Hermanos Peña.
Los Arcos, yeah.
Los Arcos Peña.
Los Arcos Hermanos Peña.
They're always correcting me. They corrected me just the way you did because there's two groups, right?
Yes.
There's two brothers.
Right,
And they have
right.
the same name.
Right.
So one of them is called?
Los Arcos Hermanos Peña.
Uh-huh. And that's the one you sang with.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
No.
All right. So that's you have new music out?
I do. We released last month Cuando Estoy Junto a Ti. So my 3 songs that I've released, you're going to see a little bit of a difference. The first one was ballad mariachi, Tu Enemigo Eres Tú, which is an original song that I wrote. And that song released in December. So you can hear a little bit of mariachi with some urban type in the middle of the song. So it's got a really good sound and it's doing really well. Second, I released Las Cuentas Claras with Los Arcos Hermanos Peña, which is doing really good and it's in consideration for Grammy.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. And big shout out to them. They are amazing artists and I had the privilege.
And they're all so nice.
Yes, they are.
Every single one has $1 million smile.
Yes.
I love those guys.
They are very nice and amazing musicians and artists as well. So I collaborate with them and the song is doing very well. It's been doing so good for us. And then just here recently, I also brought in a cumbia, which is one of those songs that make you dance, romantic. And in the 3 songs, you can see basically my roots, where I grew up, mariachi, Tejano, conjunto, that mixture of music that I grew up with. So I'm really enjoying this journey.
And what song do you want us to listen to right now?
Listen to Las Cuentas Claras.
Okay, so we're going to listen to Las Cuentas Claras.
Te las voy a pagar. Andas diciendo por ahí lo que por mí tú sufriste. Que te quieres desquitar, de alguna forma cobrar lo que por mí tú perdiste. ¿Y qué culpa tengo yo si a ti nunca te gustó mi manera de querer? Si yo soy una mujer y tú no supiste ser lo que debe ser un hombre, qué fácil es saber cuando el cariño se acaba. ¿Quieres cobrar si nunca me diste nada? Mas si quieres terminar y de una vez aclarar con lo que tú andas diciendo, las cuentas ven a saldar, verás que en vez de cobrar sales debiendo. Las cuentas ven a saldar, verás que en vez de cobrar debiendo. Qué fácil es saber cuando el cariño se acaba y que me quieres cobrar si nunca me diste nada. Mas si quieres terminar y de una vez aclarar con lo que tú andas diciendo, las cuentas ven a saldar, verás que en vez de cobrar me sales debiendo. Las cuentas ven a saldar, verás que en vez de cobrar a mí me sales debiendo.
All right, we're back. That was a wonderful song. I love
Thank
that.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Who worked with you in the studio on that?
Well, Los Arcos Hermanos Peña, I went to where they record, which is in Amarillo, Texas. And they do all of the recordings out there. So whenever we wanted
They have
to
their own
collaborate,
studio.
no, they don't.
Oh.
But they
What
do.
studio is it at?
It's, I believe, is Covenant
Okay.
Studio in Amarillo with Mr. Glenn. He's a fabulous engineer. And all of their sound is very unique, you know. So when we decided to collaborate in this one song, we said, you know what, it's gonna be done there so that it can have that quality of sound and mastering and engineering. So it came out really, really nice. And I think this is actually a cover. It was in 1938 when it was written.
Oh my goodness, it is
By
yeah?
Enrique Franco. Then it was made popular by Cello in 1978.
Okay.
And then in 1978, Cello came out, it made it popular, and then we remade it. So,
Wow, that's a fascinating story.
yes, and we really enjoyed it, and we really wanted to do justice to the song because it means a lot for them and for me because that's the kind of songs that we grew up with, you know. And
Where did you grow up?
I grew up partially in north of Mexico, which is Reynosa, Tamaulipas. Then I grew up after that, after
I
12.
lived in Reynosa.
You did?
I had an apartment there, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you know, back in the day, it was so nice. Now I feel like everything is all over the place. It's changed a lot.
It's the wild, wild west.
Yeah, correct.
It really is.
It really is. But then the rest of after 12, I went to McAllen, and that's where basically I.
Oh, okay.
Been.
So you've lived on the border all your life.
Yes. So it's one and the same, you know. It's
One and the same.
Yeah, you know, back in the day, we used to just cross to go get tacos, come back,
Yeah.
and, you know, stuff like that. So
Well, I lived on the border. I've lived on several borders. I lived in Reynosa and worked in Texas.
Yes.
On the
which a lot of people do that.
Brownsville, and I lived in Juarez. And I worked in El Paso.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I got tired of those lines, so I just got a bicycle and started riding across. I cut it past everybody and
Yeah,
went straight
yeah,
across.
much
And I had a
faster.
car on both
Much
sides
faster. Oh wow!
and a bike rack. So
Yeah, yeah.
I worked at a
Nice.
television station there, CBS.
That's nice, beautiful.
Yes, so
So you got the taste of both cultures, which I think that's what's so rich about artists like myself that grew up in the border. We get that mixture, you know, of cultures, and when you know you get to the studio, when you start creating music, something beautiful happens because of, you know, the richness of both cultures of the Tejano world.
I miss Mexico. Como México no hay dos.
Eso es correcto.
Mira, así vamos a hablar en español para nuestros televidentes.
Claro
en
que sí.
español.
Saludos a todos nuestros.
Aquí tengo a señora Blanco.
Ujú.
Háblanos de tu música.
Yo empecé desde chiquita a cantar y me encantaba la música. Tengo mucha pasión por la música desde muy pequeña, pero...
¿Cuántos años tienes la primera vez que cantaste?
Como 3,
¿3?
4, sí.
¿Y
Pero...
¿Y hay video?
No, creo. Y espero que no. Pero...
That was when I sang like this.
Ajá. No, pues Dios sabe, ni sé cómo cantaba. Pero crecí en la frontera, así es que tengo mucha pasión por la música y desde chiquita me encantó cantar, bailar, hacer todo, y yo era como la artistita de la familia, que había fiesta, una carne asada y canta Brenda, ese era el... Y pues me aprendí todas las canciones de Beatriz Adriana, Vicente Fernández, Ana Gabriel, todas esas canciones que en aquel entonces... Vicente Fernández.
Oh,
ese mero, sí.
¿Cómo termina?
Pues no me acuerdo. No me acuerdo. Pero recuerdo que mi primer concierto fue Vicente Fernández a los 15 años.
¿Ah, sí?
Sí.
¿Cuál fue tu primera actuación? ¿Cuándo subiste
al escenario?
Por primera vez.
Bueno, pues a los 9 años.
¿Y cuánta gente estaba viendo? ¿Era más de la familia?
No, sí había mucha gente porque había una inauguración de unas tiendas en México que se llamaban Soriana.
Ah, me acuerdo de Soriana.
Ok, bueno, estaba...
Ahí de compras.
Ajá. Y ahí, esta fue la primera vez, pusieron un escenario, yo me puse ahí, canté unas canciones, bailé, actué y vaya, ahí fue la primera vez. Y después de ahí, pues me empezaron a contratar a diferentes lugares de ahí de Reynosa. Y luego ya cuando me vine para acá, pues empecé con mariachi, empecé con guitarra, cantar. Bueno, de hecho yo me escondí en la guitarra mucho tiempo.
¿Tocas guitarra con este sonido?
Bueno, no, ahorita no. Pero... empecé a tocar guitarra con mariachi. Cuando ya estaba con el mariachi, no sé cómo mi maestro me oyó cantar y me dijo, quítate la guitarra, ponte a cantar. Y entonces me puso a cantar y pues mucho tiempo. Después estuve en mariachi como por 7 años y después estuve con mariachi Garibaldi ahí en el Valle.
¿A poco?
Ajá. Y después de eso, pues empecé en la iglesia, empecé a escribir, cantar, adoración y dirigir la alabanza y cosas así. Entonces estuve 20 años haciendo. Ya recientemente en diciembre fue cuando regresé a este tipo de música, escribí esa canción. Exacto.
Muy bien, muy bien. Pues, ¿cuál canción quieres que escuchamos ahora?
Tu enemigo eres tú.
Ok, vamos a escuchar Tu enemigo eres tú.
Eras tú el que decía que yo te mentiría, te la pasabas buscando para encontrarme algo. Sin embargo, en toda historia, el que se la siempre tiene cola, viviendo atormentado por cosas que ni han pasado. Qué afán de destruir lo que tanto habías deseado. Lo tenías todo y lo hiciste a un lado. Tú buscando enemigos, cuando tu enemigo fuiste tú. Tu enemigo no fui yo, siempre fuiste tú mismo. Tu enemigo en el espejo lo veías tú solito. Te inventabas escenarios que no existían, convertías cada duda en profecía. El veneno que me dabas tú lo bebías, me culpabas de tus miedos día con día. Qué afán de destruir lo que tanto habías deseado. Lo tenías todo y lo hiciste a un lado. Tú buscando enemigos, cuando tu enemigo fuiste la soledad de tu dolor. Descubriste que tu error mató nuestro amor. Pero ya no, bebé, ya no. Hoy no, ya no. Hoy no.
And we're back. Let's speak English for the English-speaking people.
Yes.
When was the first time you got up on stage and sang professionally?
Well, I wouldn't say professionally, but I guess 9 years old. And like I was telling you, I basically, they had like a grand opening for a store in Mexico, and they called me up, and my aunts, my uncles, everybody knew everybody, and they're like kind of, oh, bring your niece, she sings so good, and put her on stage. And they put me on stage with a microphone. That's all I was doing, and kind of a karaoke kind of song, and I was just dancing, looking at the camera kind of thing, and that's how I started,
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
you got addicted to it. You get addicted to the applause.
Yes, and it's been such a beautiful, beautiful journey. Music
And
is a
then
beautiful
you started
journey.
working in McAllen in a mariachi group.
Correct. Then I started mariachi. Well, one of the things that we have in schools in the U.S. is that they're very prone to help, So they get kids in mariachi, band, all these things. So I started mariachi. I got the guitar, and I kind of learned, the basic chords on guitar, which I still don't think I can play more than do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. So I started and then one day my teacher was passing or something like that, and I was singing, so, right. So I started singing, and he's like,
You have a beautiful voice.
yes, he's like, put the guitar away, go get the mic. So since then, that's basically what I have been doing. Then I did mariachi for about 7 years. Then I went into church and kind of focused in church and did a lot of leading worship, background vocals, played a little bit of piano, a little bit of guitar. I was pregnant, with my big old belly playing the electric guitar.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So,
You got to show me a picture of that.
I need to find it. Yes, I have some.
Send it for the next time you come.
Yes, of course.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. It's
Thank
been
you.
delightful.
Thank you. It's
All
such
right.
a pleasure to me.
So tell us one more time where we can find your music.
All digital platforms, but follow me in all social media by Brenda Blanco Oficial, and you can find basically the links to all my platforms and music. So thank you so much.
My name is John Boyd with KLMO Television. Thank you for watching.